young and still in love. We didn't care what we were made of. Our eyes were set on a distant sun. It was shimmering gold.
What's the story behind these Space 4-track sessions that you released? Is this how your songs start, in a corner in your living room?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, most songs that I've written over our 9 albums have started in this very house. And there's something about me writing songs at home, Patricia, that I feel like it's the place where I'm most honest and most kind of, my defences are down and I can kind of express myself in an innocent way, you know, without the complications of actually making the record and having record companies involved. So the art and the songs always need to come from an innocent place. And yes, Space, I started writing that with one of my friends for a different project, actually. And the song kept sticking around in my mind, and the boys, Ben and James, heard it and they were like, look, this needs to be a Biffy song. So this song started a little bit differently, but they always come together at home. It's just that there's that vulnerability, I think, that the songs have that I can only achieve being in Scotland.
You've got a new album, A Celebration of Endings. The critics loved it, but I want to know, what do you like the most about your new songs?
Well, it's so strange, Patricia, because normally at this point we would have played so many shows and I would have a different relationship with the songs. So I would be thinking of them purely as, you know, whether I'm finding them easy to sing, whether the crowd or, you know, which songs the crowd are connecting with. So I feel like my connection to the album is at a slight distance, more distance than normal. So I'm still listening to it as a listener rather than the guy that kind of wrote the songs. So I don't mean to sound like a dick, for want of a better word, but I'm so proud of this record. I feel when I listen to it, there's an energy and an innocence to this album that I'm so pleased that we've been able to capture after being a band for 15, 20 years. You know, I can hear the excitement in these songs and also the confidence. When I listen to my lyrics in this album, and it's probably the most confident I've been about my opinions on the way my life's unfolding and the way the world is unfolding. So that's been quite kind of liberating to feel that, you know, just at this stage of a band. But it's weird, I need to get inside the songs, Patricia. I need to start playing them because it's slightly unsettling to just have them at an arm's distance. So I've not listened to the album since it was released, and I think part of that is self-preservation, because if I listen to it and then I imagine playing shows, I feel a little sad. You know, I want to feel the excitement of these new songs when we do hit the road. You know, when we come to see you guys, hopefully next year, I want to feel that these songs are still new. So it's a strange relationship this time.
Well, Space is taking off in mainstream radio and a little bit everywhere. You recorded this song with an orchestra. You played solo in these Space 4-track sessions, and you dance on the video. So Space is being a whole new experience for you. How's it been?
Oh, it's been great, actually. You know, a song like that, it's different for us. You know, normally for videos and things, we would do like performance videos or something like that and try and get the energy of the live show across. But because we're in lockdown, I really wanted us to embrace the different creative aspects we could use because we have time in our hands for the first time. Normally we're on the road and we maybe have 3 days to make a video or do a session. And so I really wanted to do a choreography, you know, a choreographed piece for the song because I wanted to kind of add to the sincerity of it. You know, with the video, I didn't want to be standing just with my guitar because I thought that might just make it seem a little, not cheesy, but just too sincere. So with the dancing and everything, I thought that was a wonderful way to translate the emotions in it without emoting to the camera. With the other sessions as well, the Abbey Road session came around and finally we had time to focus and figure out the score, exactly how we wanted it to be, to really embrace the pomposity of that song and really take it to the maximum degree of kind of over the top and dramatics. It's been really great to be able to explore all these other things during this weird time. And I would say that goes for all the videos we've made for this album, you know, and the promotions and things. It's all been so different. You know, as we were talking earlier, Patricia, you know, your work is so different this year, but it's so worth it. You know, we have to make these compromises. So I'm not complaining about not touring, but there's definitely been, the one positive out of it has been the time to spend on these creative things, which sometimes take the back of the list. So Space in a song, and in particular Space, feels like it can inhabit so many different areas. And I'm glad we've had the opportunity to do that.
One thing that you love doing is playing live. Are you counting the days until your fingers crossed tour?
Oh, you know it, Patricia. It cannot come. The shows cannot come quick enough. We're not naive. We know there's still a lot to do between now and playing those shows in April, I think they are. Mm-hmm. I have confidence that at least by next summer, the festivals and things will be happening again, because we need to learn to live with the virus as much as wait for the vaccine. And I think now that we appreciate that, everyone knows now what it takes. So I'm very hopeful, but I'm not being foolish about it. You know, it's been the toughest part of this year has to be release new music and not be able to share it, because it's about that intimacy. It's about that communication you have with your fans, and nothing beats that. Nothing beats sharing a space with people and sharing moments of joy or sadness. And so that I really, really miss it. And, you know, I'm sure you do too, Patricia. I mean,
yes, I do.
It's a part of all of our lives, and it does something to our soul, and to, you know, that no other, even more than movies and art and things like music, just touches us in ways, I think, every day of our lives, and we all miss it. So yeah, fingers crossed, it's going to be the best show ever. If it happens, I'll tell you that.
It's not just the loud music.
Oh, it's not just the loud music. No, exactly.
So I was watching your 4-track session, and I loved to see your guitars. During the pandemic, guitar sales soared all over the world. I got...
Yay! Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's a guitarlele.
Guitarlele. So is it regular tuning?
No, you have to tune it like F guitar and F a ukulele. It has 6 chords. So
wow. How are you getting on? How are you getting on with it?
Not good. It's tough to start a new instrument by ourselves. What I wanted to ask you is, what's your advice to anyone who picked a guitar during this pandemic? And if you remember the time you picked up a guitar yourself?
Yeah, well, I remember picking up a guitar. I used to play violin when I was very young. I played violin for about 6 years. And I remember picking up a guitar. I always thought the guitar was cooler, you know. And I remember picking up a guitar, and it just immediately made sense to me. I think because I came from like classical playing, where you read a lot of music and you have to know the theory. I really loved the liberation of just picking up a guitar and playing how you feel. And that would be my advice to yourself or anyone picking up is... Don't worry about how much you think you're learning. See if you pick up your guitarlele.
Yes.
If you pick that up every day just for 5 minutes, you don't feel that you're achieving much. By the end of the month, you won't believe how much you know. And also, I would say when you pick up any instrument, it's always about expressing yourself. So don't worry about doing things technically right. You know, it's great these days that you can go on YouTube, and if you are worried about something or you have a problem, you can find out how to deal with it. But don't worry about that. Everyone plays differently. It's all about expression. And even if you're playing one chord really well, just keep playing that, and it does something to the soul. So never put yourself under pressure, and make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. If it feels too much like work, then take a wee break and come back to it. That would be my advice.
I have one last question, okay? So I've read the following on your latest biography. There are 2 questions I ask myself every morning. What would Freddie do, and what would Greta do? Freddie as in Freddie Mercury, and Greta as in Greta Thunberg?
Yeah, 2 reasons. One is if Freddie Mercury has been my idol since I was that small, tiny, you know. Whenever I worry about my confidence or my self-esteem, I just picture Freddie Mercury, and he always helps. There's something about thinking of Freddie Mercury that makes me feel kind of more confident. So whenever I'm working on music or about to do a show, and if I get nervous or start to get really worried about things, it always just puts a smile on my face to imagine, well, I could go out with a mustache and like hot pants and things, you know, and I'm like, that just puts me in a good mood. So Freddie always cheers me up. Greta always reminds me to be responsible for what I put out into the world, whether it's environmentally, whether it's climate, or whether it's just energy. I want to put a positive energy out into the world. That's not to say that our music is always positive. We sing about a lot of dark things as well. But the fact that a 19-year-old girl can inspire an entire world to actually step up and help our planet, help make everything better for the future generations. You know, it's like, we can't just leave it for the next generation all the time. That's what I feel like has been happening. And Greta Thunberg, I've really been inspired by her strength, her conviction, what she believes in, and her energy for it. So yeah, I think the way Greta's conducted herself has been amazing. And if I could just have a little bit of her energy and a little bit of her get up and go, then I feel like I'm a better human being for it.
There's always a space in my heart for